figured out what the issue was. What the fuck, YouTube? Um, you guys have heard me complain about this before, but YouTube likes to change the live stream features and they don't notify us at all. I mean, they do send out like monthly newsletters and stuff, but it's never in there. So what happened, if you're just coming across this video, this is part 2 of the 2025 February live stream. And I couldn't figure out why nobody was on the live stream. And I was on there for about 20 minutes talking to myself. And it turns out that YouTube has started making the default setting on live streams to be unlisted. Why would you want that? I can't even think of any purpose why a live stream would be unlisted. I mean, if you record it and then it's uploaded later, and then it is then, you know, maybe you have to make it private for some reason. I understand making it unlisted, but the point of live stream is to make it public, right? It's to stream to people. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I'll talk a little bit more about that in detail. Okay, TMUSA, thank you. All right, I know that people are here now. Let me get switched over on my computer. So I don't know if maybe you were wondering what was going on. I was supposed to start the stream at 3, and I did. So you'll see eventually, whenever that's re-uploaded to YouTube, that'll be up there. That's just going to be part 1, and this is going to be part 2. But yeah, essentially YouTube changed a setting to be the default setting. Didn't tell me that they changed it. And so when I went live, there was like nobody on there. And it just kept saying like 0 people, and then it'd go to 1 people, and then back to 0. And I'm like, what in the world? This has never happened. And yeah, it turns out after I ended the stream to check the settings, they have changed the settings so that the default setting for a live stream is to be unlisted. I don't even understand why that's an option for a live stream. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So I guess that's another thing that I'm going to have to watch out for in the future to make sure to always change that. So yeah, give me a minute to get switched over because I'm on the old live stream on my computer here. It's just easier for me to follow comments if I do it from yeah, if I do it from my computer. Okay. You guys know my computer's super old too, so this might take a little while. All right, hey, okay, we're starting to get people on here. Sorry guys, again, YouTube did something really stupid and made the live stream private for some reason. So that is why I was not there. I was talking to myself for 20 minutes, and I will have, I'm gonna go ahead and let that upload so you guys can see everything I said and all the information on there. And then this will just be the second half of it. So I don't know how many people we're gonna have because this is half an hour after it was supposed to start. But we'll see. Hopefully we get comments rolling in and we'll have a conversation rather than me just talking to myself. And I'm just switching over here on my computer. Oh, by the way, guys, this is in the first half of the stream too, but drink of the day. There's a new flavor of Coke. It's orange cream. And I got the 0 version of that. So that's today's drink. And then if I get through this, we'll go get the regular Diet Pepsi too. TMUSA, before I switched over, I did see your comment. Thank you. Yeah, I feel a lot better. It was not by choice that I grew my hair out for 7 months. So, yeah, so that was kind of a big accomplishment to get that done finally. And then I'm fairly clean shaven right now too, which is rare. Um, you guys know me though. I don't like keep stubble. Hey AJ. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it feels good too. um, so I got some sticking out back here, but it's because I haven't even used styling product in over a year. So my hair is just not trained to do anything anymore. But as I keep styling it every day, it'll get back to where it's supposed to be. I got to visit my haircut dude, got that done. You probably can't see it in that much detail on camera, but I gotta get my eyebrows done. That'll probably happen this coming month, because those also I think haven't been done in like a year. So I'm just getting switched over here. Once I do, I'll be able to see the comments better. They do pop up on the phone, but they only pop up for like a second or two. Awesome, we got 5. Okay, so notifications are going out. Again, guys, this is probably going to be one of the more chaotic, disorganized live streams you've seen, mostly because I turned on the live stream, and I turned on the live stream. For some reason, YouTube set it to private, so I'm just talking to myself for half an hour. And finally, I ended it to see why nobody was on there, and I saw it was set as unlisted. Now, I definitely did not do that, and for some reason, YouTube has changed the what's that word? The default setting to be private, which seems like the last thing you would want for a live stream. But anyway, that's where I've been, and that's why I'm half an hour late. So that will re-upload, and you guys can watch that later. That'll just be part 1. This will be part 2. Yeah, AJ, I mean, I can get closer to the camera here, you can see. So I've got, some stray hairs here. There's a lot of like random hairs under here. It's not the worst thing ever. I know it doesn't look terrible, but it gets to a certain point where it's too much for me to manage. Normally, I'll get my eyebrows waxed, and then I'll keep it up for a few months. But at a certain point, I seem like I always get behind on it, and then it gets too behind to the point where it's too much for me to deal with on my own. And that's basically where it is now, especially because it's been like since a year. Now, I think my haircut dude actually, because you said my eyebrows aren't that bushy, I'm pretty sure my haircut dude like trimmed them or something, because they were kind of out of control. I'm seeing on my side here, I'm watching from my computer down below here, my camera looks out of focus or blurry or something. Let me know if you guys are seeing that, because like on the actual viewfinder here, it's not. So I'm not sure why it's showing up like that. Okay, so I can't, well, I don't think I can. Let me check and see if I can do it from desktop. I have the option, or at least there was an option at one point. No, I don't think I can while I'm in a live stream. Well, maybe. Oh yeah, I can. Let me do it from my computer. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna do a poll, and I will post it in the live chat. Basically, the you don't have to answer in the comments, but you can just vote on the poll. Basically, it's, do you want me to go over all the things that I said in the first half of the live stream that were private, or do you want me to just, or do you want to just wait and watch it after it re-uploads? So that's what I'm going to put to a vote. It's the first time I've done a poll, I think. So let me know if it pops up in the chat. Okay, AJ, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it looks, I don't know, it looks blurry on my screen. Um, okay, so we're up to 9 people, so it looks like notifications are slowly going out. I know it's confusing. I set the time and then nobody got notifications I was live because the live was private. And anyway, who knows how many people we're going to end up with today because of that. Okay, currently the poll sits at 50-50, so you guys have got to give me a little more clarity than that. All right. All right, well, I will give that a little bit of time. I didn't set a time limit for the poll, I don't think. But we'll just let it go for a few minutes. Um, okay, so yes, I got my hair cut. That makes a huge difference in how I look, and therefore how I'm presentable and for job and stuff like that. But also, it does make a big difference in how I feel. Makes me feel a little bit better about myself, so that's a good thing. All right, so okay, I'm just gonna say this because it's still at 50%. So if you want, if 75% or more of the people vote that they want me to go back over everything, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll just have you guys um, go back and watch that stream. The way the streams work is basically what happens is that one might not be as bad because it's only half an hour. Usually my streams are 2 to 3 hours long. But what happens is basically the stream will go for 2 to 3 hours, and then it'll take the entire rest of the day and that night, and then usually sometime the next morning or next afternoon, it'll automatically go live on the channel where you can watch it back. And that's what's going to happen with that first half. Um, I'll talk about, well, when you watch me talk about it in there, you know, all of the things that I had updated on, and like goals for the month, the the drink of the day, um, updates, stuff like that. All right. Okay, so we got 8 people. That's really low, but I mean it's understandable based on all the problems I've had today. There's also, I think, only 2 people who have voted in the poll, so it's still at 50%. I'll just let that go for a few minutes and see where it goes to. So feel free, guys, to comment, ask any questions, and I will get on that. TMUSA, no. So to let you know what's going on with the finance app, um, uh, TMUSA asked, have you picked a new finance app yet? And what she's referring to is that I used Mint from 2010 to 2014 when they shut down. Uh, it basically kept all of my financial accounts in one place. So I had an overall picture, and um, it tracked like all those years of expenses and income, and tracked my net worth and all of that stuff. Um, I haven't yet, but here's where I'm at with it. I'm actually going to be making a video about it. Um, what I'm going to do is I've got 3 or 4 apps that I'm considering as replacements. I'm not completely convinced that any of them will be really an adequate replacement, but I'm going to try them. And so essentially what I'm going to do is film a video, um, basically saying that I'm trying each of them out. Then the video will be over the course of 3 months. of me tracking all of my finances on each one to learn whether it's adequate for what I need, and just kind of showing, how each one of them works, and kind of reviewing what I like and what I don't like about it. And hopefully at the end of that, I'll pick one and find one that is a suitable replacement. So I am going to make a video about it, but the end goal is that once I get one that works, well, one, I can just kind of be back on track in life because I'm tracking everything again and on top of things. But two, it means that I can also start doing the monthly videos again. Like I said in the financial goals, I'm probably just going to do the budget review rather than the budget with me, especially now because I have more predictable income and kind of more predictable expenses. So it wouldn't really make sense to do a budget with me because my budget's going to be the same almost every month. The only exception might be summer because I am trying to go to a conference for my job, but like beyond that, my budget is pretty much just going to always be the same. So basically, to answer your question, I don't yet. Let me actually see. I think I can bring this up on my computer. I have the tabs open of which ones I'm going to consider. Let me see here. Is that it? No. That's not it, right? Here it is. Okay, so Empower is one of them. If I'm thinking about the right one, it used to be called Personal Capital or something like that. And then there's Money by Yodely. And then Pierre is another one. Now, Pierre, I signed up for it about a year ago, and I really have almost not used it at all. But because I signed up at like their launch, I got a free membership for life. It's not free, but it would be for me because I signed up so early. That's the only reason I would consider it, is just because I don't have to pay anything. But the downside for Pierre is they don't have a desktop version. It's only an app. They are coming out with one though. It's supposed to be out already. They're beta testing it, and I signed up for the beta, but I didn't get into it, so I don't know what it's going to be like. But I know they're trying hard to be a replacement for Mint, so hopefully it's got all the features. But yeah, I'm going to try all three of them. I'm going to link all three to all of my bank accounts, and then I will see how it goes for 3 months, see how I feel in the end, which one, if any of them, that I like. And hopefully if I do find that replacement, then I can also add an additional video every month of doing a budget review. Because the thing is, even though my budget, as far as my expenses every month, is going to be just about the same, I think you guys would still like to see the budget review because we can see the net worth progress, and we can also look at, like I can show individual debts as well. So like if I'm working, like for example, I've got a small credit card that I'm working on paying off, and I can show the progress that I'm making on that. I can show, hey, here's my small Capital One card. This is what it was, and this is the minimum payment I made, and here's the extra payment I made, and this is the progress, and it's projected to be paid off here. Like, I know that's the kind of stuff that you guys would want to see, and I am trying to get that there. Just like with everything else though, I'm juggling so many different things in life right now. I'm trying to get some of that cleared out so I can do this stuff. But I mean, I think I have made some progress with YouTube because there for the longest time, I was only doing the monthly live streams because literally I didn't have time to make any videos. And I did the monthly live streams to at least like stay connected with everyone. And it was a way of like giving updates about what I was doing, even without making actual videos. So the sorry, guys are making weird noises. Anyway, I basically have got into a pattern now where I'm making one content video per month plus the live stream. Now, if I can get my life together, it would be one content video plus one budget review plus a live stream every month. So that's 3 times as many videos per month as I'm making now. And then here and there, occasionally, I might do a short. And eventually, I'm never going to do weekly posts. I literally cannot get my life together enough to do that. But I might do 2 content videos a month. And then I'm going to interact on other platforms too. For the last couple months, I've been pushing my Instagram because I am trying to get you guys to follow me over there. Because I do post things over there that I don't post here. So that's more content. Plus, I'm in that boot camp right now for channel memberships, and there will be some content that's already on the channel that I've had to make private over the years that I will make public to channel members. And so there's some more stuff coming that way too. TMUSA says, I'd like to see those reviews. I've been using EveryDollar for 2 to 3 years now, and it's set up and easy now, but not against moving not against moving, I like the features better. Yeah, so I'm trying at all costs not to pay for anything. I'm just super cheap. I say I'm so used to being poor that I'm super cheap. I'm actually still poor, but you know what I mean. I don't want to pay for anything if I don't have to. Mint was the best, like, out of everything, and it was also free, even if it was ad supported. I don't care about that, but it was amazing, and it doesn't seem like there's any clear successor to it. So I don't know. We'll try them out. Hopefully I can find one that works well enough. And I suppose we could run into a scenario as well where maybe I find one that doesn't do everything that I need, but it's like good enough, and maybe I can use that for a while to start doing the budget reviews. And then that way I'm at least able to make them, and I'm tracking things a little bit more than I have been. But then like still be on the search for something better. That's a possibility too. You mentioned EveryDollar. I know from the name of that I don't want to use it because I don't believe in EveryDollar budgeting. That's actually what they do for my job here, and I absolutely hate it. I just don't like, because it's never accurate. It's literally never accurate because you don't know what you're going to spend on each thing. So it's like, why do I want to go through the process of setting a hypothetical budget for each category and then you just spend whatever you have to? Like, you know, we didn't know we were going to have a multi-million-dollar expense for our hotel wing being flooded in November. Like, that obviously wasn't budgeted. So, and then for me, like, for example, they've set like a weekly budget for ordering supplies, and yet I run this house like I run my life. I don't spend money. we hardly ever buy anything, and so there's all this extra money, and they're like, well, you have all this money in the budget. And I was like, yeah, I know. Let's just spend it on something else. Like, the guys want a Slurpee machine for the house or something like that. Like, So I don't know. I just know that I don't want to allocate every dollar. What I want to do is I want to set like I did on Mint, where I have all my expenses listed, where I'm like, these are my minimum payments, this is my rent, this is my utilities. I know what these are going to be. Um, and then I can set some goals to save toward, whether it be emergency fund or sinking funds. Um, but then like there's a lot of openness and flexibility about outside those main expenses, what that money can go toward. Um, I mean, other than buying food and occasionally a little bit of gas, um, I I don't buy that much. Um, but I got into and I think the reason I'm so opposed to this is because when I was in college, um, I had this class, and I don't remember what it was called, but it was about like planning your life or something. And one of the things they wanted us to do was to create a time schedule. And it was the same thing where you had to allot for every single hour of every day, or maybe it was half hour, and you had to break down what you were going to do. And it was so overly restrictive, and there was no flexibility. Um, oh, yeah, no. Okay, yeah, every dollar is a Ramsey app, so assumed you never try that. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I The only thing that I have of Dave Ramsey's is I have the Financial Peace University um, Gazelle spreadsheet for paying off debts. Um, I did not buy that from him. There was another personal finance YouTuber who gave it to me years ago. And I do keep track of my debts, especially now that I don't have Mint. I do keep track of my debts on there. But I've also noticed that it's actually not accurate. I've had some issues with it where it is tracking things incorrectly. But anyway, I do use that. Um, Case says more dating review vid. Hey, well, see, okay, the thing about that is I would actually have to be dating. um, and I live in the middle of nowhere. So I also live in a college town, which means that the people that do live here are a lot younger than me. So right now I'm a free agent. But I'm just kind of, if I meet somebody, I meet somebody, cool. But I haven't been meeting anyone. I'm not opposed to making videos, like if I do start dating. I don't want to make it like I don't want to make a big series where I'm just like trashing everybody I go on a date with and talking behind their back. I mean, quite honestly, you kind of try to vet people, and that doesn't always work, but you try to screen out people in the first place. So hopefully I would be successful enough. The biggest stories that you guys have got is when I went down to North Carolina and I started getting these really weird girls who, there was the one that had the cat breeding business that only went to restaurants that had a dress code. Um, that was the weirdest one that I had down there, but there were other similar ones where it was they were just like all about just like blatantly up front, like all about money, um, which I'm not gonna say is like not a thing other places, but in Charlotte they were just it's just so upfront about it. And I do think that it was worse than like most places anyway. Um, Case says make dating app review vid. Instead of going out on dates, you can just review chat logs on Hinge. You know what? Yeah, I could probably do that. If I if I have some weird interactions, maybe I could do that. Or at the very least, maybe you can take a screenshot of it and post it in the community tab. Um, yeah, if it's weird enough, if I think it's interesting. I'm not trying to demean people, so I have to kind of be careful with that. Um, but at the same time, yeah, if I get some real weird messages, maybe I could do that. AJ says, have you had a chance to start work on the series about your ex/lawsuit? Well, yes and no. So I have not filmed any of the videos, but it's kind of a thing that's on my mind like every day. The one thing that I have to update about on that is it's a little bit, it was already delayed, but it's a little bit more delayed to start that video series because I know I told you guys that I got to a point where there were no more deadlines and it was just I had to figure things out and do some like loose end things. Well, in the process of doing that, and remember, this is like among the 50 different things that I'm juggling every day trying to keep balanced. I came across something else that I can still do that had a 5-year statute of limitations. It's not a law, it's not a lawsuit or anything, but it's a complaint that I can file with an agency I didn't even know existed. Now, whether they'll do anything, probably not. But as far as the story, I'm going to tell you guys the whole story, so that's part of it. And it's kind of hard to tell the story and start telling the story when the process is still going on. And also, now that there is a time limit again, I kind of have to hop on that and get on there and make sure I don't miss that, because it's not just on my schedule. So just to I don't know if that made any sense. Okay, one, I have to write a letter to an agency just for clarification on something. I should do that sooner rather than later. I have one complaint that I need to file that actually would not be due until, I don't know, like, I want to say like late next year, 2026. But again, I want to do that sooner rather than later. There is one that I need to do in April. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, but because of some other stuff that has happened, I am going to go ahead and file it. Now, I'm almost like 97% sure they're not going to do anything about it. But again, because this is my one and only opportunity, I want to make sure that I can I don't blame myself later if I don't at least try to fix my situation. So I'm going to do that. That is due by April 20th of this year. And that's the one that's like freaking me out because I got a lot of stuff to sit and write. Thankfully, by the way, I haven't seen her on here, but Jennifer brought to my attention a couple months ago that ChatGPT is no longer something you have to pay for. And I found out that they have a law section on there. And it has been enormously useful because a lot of this stuff that I had to write manually and research and took me weeks, it already has pre-written for me in the safe chats. So as far as the letter I have to write, as far as the complaint, I mean, it literally went through like the West Virginia, what was that? The West Virginia Code of Judicial Conduct. It literally said, okay, you've described to me that this happened. These are the violations of those rules. And here's like, you know, the section numbers for each thing. And then here's exactly how you should write the complaint. And so that has been immensely helpful. Not only one, in making it sound like I actually know what I'm talking about, but two, getting it done in like a reasonable amount of time. And three, the emotional. This is the thing that I can't describe to anybody. I just feel like nobody gets is that like part of processing all of this, it's so emotional to me. Like there's some sort of energy that it expends from me to go through all of this stuff because it's so upsetting. The way that I was treated, the fact my relationship ended, and the way I was treated there. So it takes a huge emotional toll on me to go through this stuff as well. And having ChatGPT be able to create this stuff for me, it has actually taken a huge amount of that burden off. So I think that I'm going to be able to wrap up all these loose ends without suffering nearly as much as I would have had to a year or two ago. And to answer the rest of your question, there is a final complaint that I found out is not due until 2027, I think. I'm going to have it in earlier than that, but that's the last thing that's on a timeline. Because by that point, 5 years out, like literally nothing else can be appealed, nothing else can be filed. The deadlines on everything have ended. And at that point, that is when I have to do what I have to do, which is partly working this out in my own head, partly with support resources, partly with a therapist, which, hopefully sometime down the line I can afford. And partly is just going to be of making the story public. And that's a big part of it. So that's going to be those videos. Because those videos are two things. Number one, it's the announcement of why I dropped the lawsuit. And number two, it's going to be a way to make my story public. Which, I mean, when you think of survivors of abuse, that is a hugely important thing, is just to be able to tell your story. So, so yeah. Okay, and I'm a little behind on comments. Thank you guys for coming to the stream. I know it's been chaotic today, but thank you for popping on. Okay, so AJ, that's the answer to your question there. I haven't really had a chance to start working on it because some other stuff popped up that I have to take care of before I can start working on it. But it is coming. It's not something that's not going to happen. It is immensely important to me personally. And I think it's important to the channel too, because I mean, it did make me have to stop making videos for at least like 2 years. So like, you guys need an explanation for that. Okay, so Case says date immigrants. They are probably willing to get married for residency card. I mean, if I wanted to marry somebody, I want to marry them because they actually like me. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't see what I would get out of that, really. Like, yeah, they would get some kind of residency status, but if I want somebody to actually like me, I don't know what I would get. AJ says that is a crass and weird thing to say, Case. And Case says just offering options. Nowadays, dating, need all the help you can get. I mean, yeah, that's true, but still, I don't want it to be like weird. Like it's not like the Middle Ages. I'm not trying to like, I don't know. We're not making like a business transaction. Case says if age gap is such a problem, then it will be worse as time goes on for dating. Imagine you were 45 and you won't date anyone below 38. No good options then. Best to do it early. Well, it's not so much the age gap as far as the number of years. It's like specifically that there's such a gap between my age. I'm 39. And like college age. And again, it's not like the number of years, because you're right. Like, well, okay, let's say the average college senior is 21. I'm 39. So I'm 18 years older than them. Okay? If math. 18 plus 39 is what, 57, I think. So I would not date a 57-year-old, but let's just say if somebody was 57 and they were dating a 39-year-old, no one would think that was too weird, because they're both like older adults, I guess. It hurts to say that about myself, but that's not going to be that big a deal. But if I were to go to like a college senior age, that is a bigger difference, just because life places, I guess. Um, like I'm a lot further along in life than they are. Um, in a few ways. I'm not saying it's like the biggest problem in the world, but it gets into an issue where I'm not ruling out that I would date somebody who's like a college senior, but I do think that it's doubtful that we would have much in common or be like wanting the same things. And then if there was a college senior who's like trying to get wifed up, that would frankly that would freak me out. I would it would literally scare me off. Cause I'd be like, first of all, there if you're a college senior and you're like wanting that, like you're really like pushing to go that direction, and that worries me. But then also, it makes me think like what I don't know. It kind of just makes me think like there's something wrong with them. Um, I would question why, like if they have some kind of issue that they would be interested in somebody so much older. But now that's not in every case. Like if for example, let's just say I don't know. Let's just say like I met somebody out at a store here and I look younger than I am, maybe I don't know, maybe they look older than they are. We think we're kind of meeting in the middle, and then after we get to know each other and we've hit it off, it turns out she's actually a college senior. Like that wouldn't be so much of an issue. It would be more of an issue of me, I don't know, like meeting somebody at a party that the guys host. Um, Actually, they would probably think that was cool. I'm being honest. The guys would probably think it was cool, but there are some concerns. Um, Max says, haircut looks guitar. I just started playing guitar and doing open mics. Guitar. Okay. I mean, it's called a. I can't remember if it's called a high fade or a low fade. It's literally just a fade with a hard part, and then I I just push it back. When it's short like this, it kind of when I push it back, it kind of like makes it stand up. But as my hair grows longer, it'll just be pushed like straight back. Um, but no, that's cool, man. That you're good enough that you can do an open mic. I mean, not that I play an instrument anymore, but I could. You have to be pretty good and pretty confident to do that. AJ says, I think you will feel a sense of relief and catharsis to be able to tell your story. Yeah, I think so too. And that's not my primary motivation for doing it, but as I've kind of thought about how I'm going to format these videos, I keep thinking of these examples. I found a text from her where she was literally saying, like, don't tell anybody about our relationship. Like, before this, all this information was private between the two of us. But it was like about her. uh, I didn't say I didn't say the word abuse because I wasn't thinking that, but it was about her being terrible to me. And she was essentially mad that I had said something about it. And when you look at the overarching thing of what all happened after she ghosted me, whether it be the restraining order or whether it be, her fighting against the lawsuit, or her, not letting me testify in court or any of those things, um, every single thing she does or has done has been a pretty it's been a pretty consistent motivation that I don't think that I realized for the longest time. But not only did I feel like I should be able to tell my story because I was supposed to be able to testify and say my side anyhow, um, but yeah, looking at it now, I see that there's a pattern of her actions that she took that were all about shutting me up. Um, Case says, well, it goes both ways. If the girl is 30 years old, she might not date someone with a big age gap. It's going to be harder if you wait, is all I'm saying. Yeah, well, I found like a girl that's around 30, most of them don't have that big of a problem with an age gap. Like 10 years plus older than them, they generally don't care. Um, I mean, I would think even 15, from my experience, would be fairly acceptable. Um, no, I mean, if you're like 60, that might be an issue. But that's not quite the same with a girl that's like 22. They're probably not thinking necessarily that it would be, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is harder if I wait. I just live in a place right now where there really aren't any available options. And I hate to say this because it sounds so narcissistic, but like, I'm not gonna settle for somebody that's unacceptable just because I live somewhere where there's no one acceptable. I'd rather just be on my own. I'm like, yes, preferably I would like to find someone, but at the same time, that someone has to exist. So um, I will just wait until then. TMUSA says it would be hard to date / marry somebody outside of your generation. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I've always, for the most part, there's a few exceptions, but I've always dated younger, but not like freakishly younger. 10 years younger was the oldest that the biggest gap. Um, the girl, she was 4 years younger than me, and we essentially were like from the same time frame. In the same hometown. I'm born in 85, she was born in 89, so we were pretty similar. Uh, Now, I mean, I don't really have like hard and fast rules about age difference, the number of years in any direction, but I do think that if it was an extreme, like, yeah, I feel like I wouldn't have a whole lot in common with somebody who's like a lot younger than me, um, or a lot older than me. That's the same problem. I actually think I would probably be I'd deal slightly better with somebody who's a lot younger than a lot older, because I can kind of adapt to and learn things that are younger than me, um, rather than learning things that are like before my time, if that makes sense. Because I'm way more on the I'm way more of the persuasion of being able to like learn a new upcoming thing that's like exciting and new rather than, someone like stodgy and like outdated kind of thing. Um, Cases, yep. If she has to tell you to go hush hush, that's admission of guilt right there. Um, you when I tell the story, you're gonna see some stuff like that. I would also say admissions of guilt would be deleting evidence and erasing bank records, things that she did during the lawsuit. Yeah, I would also say that those are admissions of guilt. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the overall strategy all along has been don't you dare ever tell anyone anything about me or anything that I do. I just didn't connect it until after all this stuff happened, and even for like months after that. But then I did start to see the pattern of everything about this is to get me to not talk. Um, and the craziest thing about it is like I don't even know why it matters to her. No one believes me. like, every agency that was supposed to help me, every one of our friends, everybody has taken her side. Um, so I don't know why it even matters if I tell the story. Because no one believes me anyway. So I don't know. Okay, so I'm at the end of comments. I gotta blow my nose. My nose has been driving me crazy today. I'm gonna do that. We are at 86% on yes for the poll, so it's been up for a while now. I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll, and when I come back, I will go over the stuff that I said in the first video. I think I've forgotten most of it. Well, I'll try to remember it, and then yeah, we'll start there. So give me like a minute or two, stick around, and I'll go over all that stuff. Okay, cool. Still got 11 here. I've been alternating between my nose running and sneezing all day. It's weird. It's just randomly today. Okay, so I'm going to try to remember what I said in the first live stream. The first thing I said is, okay, so we have these goals that I've been setting in the live streams every month, and I started that in June. In January, I was supposed to have the goal of just getting my hair cut, and that didn't happen. I had scheduled it, and then I couldn't go get it done because there was a huge snowstorm. So that ended up being the goal for this month, and I did finally get that done. So, so that at least is done. I introduced this, which I kind of did in this video too. So drink of the day is this orange cream Coke. There's the zero version of it, which is what I have. But I'll go ahead and review it for you guys here too. But my question that I put in that first stream was, if I find a random new flavor of something like this, would you guys be interested in me doing a short on it? Because that was my initial reason for buying this, is I was gonna do a short because it was brand new, couldn't find anything about it on YouTube, and then I kept it in the fridge for like a week, and of course in the meantime everybody else made videos. It's not really what I normally make videos about, but I also am so set in the mind of long form videos that I really just don't have any concepts for short form content. Uh, so if I did something like a short, it would have to be something like this that would only take a minute or two. So just let me know if little reviews like that, even if off topic for the channel, would be something you'd be into. And for you guys, if you haven't had this, it reminds me kind of like of vanilla Coke, how you taste a lot more of the vanilla than you do the Coke. You almost can't taste the Coke in here at all. But it's a very strong smell and taste of the orange cream. I'm gonna finish that. I probably won't buy it again because it's not like gonna be like a standard go-to drink for me. But it's not bad, and I think it's definitely much better than that Oreo Coke that they had. That was weird. It took a really long time for that poll result to go into the chat there. Okay, TMUSA says, assume you rented a car to get a haircut. What else did you do on that trip? What kind of car did you rent, and did you like it? Yeah, so I did rent a car. I know I talked about in the 2025 financial video. It was okay. So here's the situation. You guys know I have issues with my car, so obviously I didn't take it. But I have a Zipcar membership. It's $9 a month, and then you have to pay for the car when you actually use it. The issue with Zipcar is that although they do pay for the gas, you're limited to 200 miles per day. That pretty much would get me to Indianapolis and back if I don't make any extraneous travel. That's literally like the only thing I can use it for. It was just like really cold in here all of a sudden. But anyway, so I needed to go to my haircut dude who was in Columbus. It's the first time I've left Indiana since I got here in July. So, yeah, you're right. Normally, when I try to do that, when I try to, so like for example, on a couple of occasions that I've rented a car to go to Indianapolis, I also do DoorDash when I'm up there with that car to offset the cost. But basically, what my problem is with Zipcar, you can only do 200 miles. So if I needed to go to Columbus, for example, I want to say it's like almost 600 miles round trip, which would mean I'd have to rent a car for 3 days, which would mean with insurance, it's roughly $125 per day. That way, 200 miles, 200 miles, 200 miles for day 1, 2, 3, in order to not be charged extra for the miles. So, but the thing is, if you get like a standard rental car, usually your mileage is unlimited. The downside is you have to pay for gas. Well, so that was why in the 2025 financial goals video, I said that I took $300 out of my emergency fund. I think it was 541 or 542 I had saved up to, and I took 300 of that out to put as an extra credit card payment toward my small credit card. Because if you guys remember, my small credit card was temporarily deactivated until I paid the balance down. After I did that, it was reactivated, but I still didn't have enough available credit on it, because I could get the car, that was no problem. The car, including the insurance, like the highest insurance, was like $85 for the day. But which is actually a lot cheaper than Zipcar because it's 125. Um, but yeah, I couldn't also pay for the $300 deposit because I didn't have enough available credit. So I took 300 out of emergency fund, made that as a small credit card payment so that I had enough available credit. Um, and so now, because I've returned the car, that $300 has gone back as a credit on the credit card. So net worth wise, it counts the same, but it essentially is just that instead of being $300 in my emergency fund, it's now $300 paid off on my credit card. So, yes, I did. That's what I did that for. Um, it was a Chevy Malibu, one of the newer ones. I don't think it was the newest year, but probably 2 to 3 years old. I'm familiar actually with driving these because, well, I don't want to give too much of her information away, but the girl has a Chevy, and it's it's a smaller one, but like inside they're almost identical. So like I'm familiar with hers, um, and so I mean I don't like that aspect of it, but they're okay. I mean, it they're just okay. It is nice to not have to worry about. My car is just so complicated to drive because it has so many issues that I have to remember, and I have to remember the workarounds for them. Like yesterday, for the second time this week, it just left me setting. I went to the mall, and when I left, it just wouldn't start. Not like it wouldn't turn over, it just acted like it didn't have a battery. Like nothing in the car did anything. And like I said, it's the second time in a week it's done it, and I was just like, for fuck's sake. All right, so here's what ended up happening. I think I've narrowed down the issue. When it does that, I have to open the hood and wiggle the negative battery terminal, like the cable that goes to it. I have to grab that and like wiggle it back and forth until the headlights come on. And then usually after that, it will start. Like, I don't know. It's just stuff like that. It's constant. Um, and there's so many workarounds for how you have to drive it. Um, and so it's really nice to have the rental car that is mostly operational. I do think it had like a bent rim or something because it had like this weird vibration as I was driving it. But I mean, that is nothing compared to my car. So yeah, it's fine. I can deal with one problem. And anyway, I did drive almost 600 miles. I ended up spending I think around $40 in gas because gas is way cheaper than it was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, around March, was when it went from a normal price. That was when the whole Ukraine war started. So like is when it went up like by $2 a gallon, and I mean I barely buy gas anymore. But here in this college town, gas is still expensive. It's still like 3.25 around here, but it's literally $1 less than that in Ohio. So I just filled up before I crossed the border back into Indiana. So to answer the rest of your question, when I went, okay, so here's what I did. So I went and got my haircut. Then I went to Target because I needed to buy Q-tips. So figured, while I had the car, go do that. So from there, I didn't have anything else lined up because I couldn't get my eyebrows scheduled, and I don't have the money to go to the dentist or the eye doctor, although I need both of those things. But they're also based out of Columbus. So what I did is I went to Easton, which is one of the malls, because I wanted to look at winter boots, and they have an LL Bean store there. Of course, at this point, winter's almost over, so I'd probably just wait till next year. But I wanted to see them in person rather than just on the website. So I went there. I then went to Nordstrom at Easton because I wanted to ask them a question at the skincare counter. Um, and then they didn't, not that I was going to buy that day what I needed anyway, but I just wanted to see if they had it in store, but they don't. It's just on their website. So from Nordstrom, I then drove to Polaris, which is the other nice mall in Columbus. It's only about 5 miles away. And just kind of did a loop on the upper level, and then on the lower level, um, I did stop at Saks Fifth Avenue, and I asked them again about the skincare thing. They didn't have it either. Um, and then they have this really cool thrift shop in their mall. It's like, it's very specifically, it's like college and sports antiques, mostly apparel. And again, I just look, I don't buy anything. But I just went in, I found like a cool Baldwin Wallace vintage 90s sweatshirt. I didn't buy it, but Baldwin Wallace is where I was supposed to go to college. I got in, my parents wouldn't let me go. Um, so basically, yeah, so I went to the mall, and then while I was there, I went to Lewis, well, while I was in that area. Oh, and then I went to IKEA because I wanted to do some research for my work, for my business. IKEA is really near that mall. So I went to IKEA. I got a package of the candy. It's like sour cola gummy candy that's like in the shape of a Viking ship. And then from there, I went to Gingigo in Lewis Center and got dinner. I got, so it's essentially hibachi, but I always get the fried rice bowl with steak, double onion, and ginger sauce. And they have a yuzu mint sweet tea. It's amazing. Like, I'm Southern, I know about sweet tea. This is like kind of a Japanese sweet tea, which doesn't sound like it would be good, but it is. So I got that, and then I drove home. I had intended actually to stop in Springfield at this Cajun restaurant, but they were closed for the day. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I just drove home. I was home by like midnight, so not too late. I did it all in one day. But it was really nice to get out of this town. It's literally only the third time I've left since I got here in July, and the only time that I've left Indiana in that entire time. Yeah, TM USA says Oreo Coke sounds gross. Yeah, it was. I think I drank the whole thing, but not sure about that. I think I did, but yeah, no, it definitely was gross. Um, Definitely not as bad as when Mountain Dew had a Sour Patch flavor or Pepsi Fire. But all right, so let me think of what else I said. I've been working on some things behind the scenes. So I am juggling a million different things right now, and so I don't know how much of this is going to get implemented anytime soon, but there are some things as far as YouTube that I've been working on. You guys know that I've been trying to get more of you guys to subscribe, follow me over on Instagram, and continuing to do that because I am posting more over there. The last thing that I posted was actually about the YouTube membership boot camp that I'm currently in. I have 2 sessions of that this coming week. this coming week. And basically, I don't think I'm going to launch channel memberships anytime soon. At the earliest, it would probably be fall, and more than likely, it'd probably be next year. But going through this boot camp is helping with learning how to do it and how to set it up so that I know when I get to that point. The big stumbling block right now is that I don't think that the moderator should have to pay for access to the channel membership content. That's something I've brought up with my YouTube partner manager, and I know in my cohort there's been several other people that have brought it up. So in response, YouTube told us they're not going to guarantee that that is a feature that they'll add, but that they are aware that that's something that we're requesting. So we'll just see what happens with that. But basically, once I'm able to have that separation where I can put some stuff behind a paywall, I'm hoping that that means that that space for the people who are doing that, paying the money to get access to those videos, they're a little more invested in me and maybe not, you know, as hostile as some of the people that just come across the channel, where I can put some more sensitive and more like personal topics, both in future videos I create that might be just for members, but then also for some of the past videos that I've posted that I've had to make private over time. A lot of them were live streams, and we'd get into conversations that were like really personal, and then later on I'd have to make them private. So those kinds of things, both old videos and new videos would be available over there. And I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do a 2 or possibly 3-tiered system. The problem is if you don't set it up properly the first time, you have to remove all of your members and then have them resubscribe if you want to redo the tiers. So I'm trying to set this once and only once. But I'm thinking I'm going to do a 99-cent a month membership where you don't really get anything other than you get a star beside your name in the live chats, and that's pretty much it. But that would just be like a, hey, I just want to support you thing. It's a very low amount, so I'm hoping a lot of people would be able to do that and be okay with not getting like anything out of that. And then a $4.99 tier where it'll be that'll be the one where you get access to all the members only videos. And I think because of future planning, I think I'm going to set a higher tier as well. I just don't know what the dollar amount's going to be, or like what the incentive for that would be. There is one guy in our cohort who said that he has like normal tiers, and then he did the max one, which is a $500 a month tier, and he named it Weird Flex, but okay. I don't think I'll do that. But like, because I'm pretty sure that he said that you don't even get anything additional. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just thinking about this stuff now. And so yeah, so then when we do the monthly live streams, then if you are a channel member, it'll show that to everybody else. It highlights your comment, I'm pretty sure, and it puts like a symbol next to your name so that people know that you're a channel member. And that would be for everyone, but including even the 99-cent tier, just people who just want to help out. And then the higher tier, the $5 a month, that's just going to be for access to like additional videos, essentially. If the channel grows to a certain point, I might start doing members only live streams. Right now, it's fine. I can handle it. But I've been on streams with larger channels where the comments are just out of control and they can't respond to everybody. And that's something that I'd like to continue to do, is try to like read out and talk and like comment on every comment that's made. I can do that right now, but I might not be able to do that in the future. So one solution to that is no matter how big like the regular live streams on this channel get, if I section off the people that are paying the $5 a month, then it would be a smaller crowd. That would be included in that live stream, and that would mean that I could still personally respond to everybody. TMUSA says, I think the Report of the Week channel has some super expensive memberships too. I have to look into that. I other than like channels I follow, I haven't really been paying attention. I don't pay for channel membership to anybody. And I mean my channel is based on poverty finance, so like I don't feel like I should be asking for a lot. I think the $1 a month thing is me just kind of crowdsourcing, really, and I think that's appropriate. But I'm gonna try to keep them pretty low. So okay, another thing before I forget it, another thing that I'm doing to build YouTube. If you guys notice in the description of this video, and also in the description of the 2025 financial goals video, I have changed some of the links in the description. Oh yeah, I know. Okay, TMUSA says it's the guy who reviews fast food. He wears three-piece suits. I know who you're talking about. I've never watched any of his videos, but man, YouTube promotes him hard. He comes up in my suggestions really pretty frequently, and I don't know why, because I've never watched any of his videos. But yeah, I do know who you're talking about. Okay, so the other thing is, I've been talking to a streamer who is not much bigger than me. I think she has like 5,000 subs. But she does exclusively live streams, no actual regular content videos. But she was pointing something out to me, and I think I'm going to do it. There's this thing called Stream Elements, and it's a chatbot that you can add as a moderator on your channel, and it then goes into your live streams, and it occasionally posts on there, like as itself. It'll say like Stream Elements, have the moderator symbol, and then it'll have its message. You get to set up what those messages are, and you can put things in there like, you know, like super chats help the channel, or here's a link to my Instagram, make sure you follow me, or, you know, donate here to PayPal. And it just puts those in the comment stream of the live chats. So I think I'm going to try that, and we can adjust what it says and the frequency of it. If it gets annoying, we can take it off there. But I'm not sure when I'm going to start that. I signed up, but I haven't configured it, and knowing me, it'll probably be a long time before I actually get that actually set up. But instead of me having to say it, and instead of me usually forgetting to say it, it'll just do that automatically. And also, in the description of this video and the one from the 2025 financial goals, you should be able to see that I now have a link tree. I did not have one before, and if you go there, it'll show you a link to all my socials, and it will show you my dono pages, which are Patreon and PayPal. And eventually, I know some people have asked me to make shopping lists, like wish lists. If I ever do that, I will post them on there. The reason that I haven't done it yet is because I honestly don't know what I would want. Like, I don't expect anybody to buy me a car, and that's really the only thing. I'm not a person who really wants things. And I don't even like to have like a lot of objects. Um, like I would love, like if somebody was like, do you want me to buy you a really expensive thing, or do you want me to pay off your student loan? Like I would definitely have I would definitely just take the student loan. Because I don't know. I just have never been very materialistic. TMUSA says the lead attorney would be a good channel to check out. He's unique, at least to me. Only members can chat on live streams, and somehow people donate memberships so non-members can chat. Yeah, so this is like a kind of a weird, complicated thing with YouTube. So I've never heard of that person. If I remember to watch my own stream back, I do that most of the time. Usually in a day or two, I'll watch my own stream back to make sure nothing radically inappropriate's on it, and I can, and if it is, I can make it private, but that's usually not the case. But when I watch this back, I'll try to watch the comments, and then that'll remind me to go look at this. Now, when you say yes, so that is a setting that you can set where it's members only. I've also seen it where you can set it where it's subscribers only, and you can set how long they have to have been subscribed. So sometimes I'll see in the live feed that somebody will be like, okay, subscribers only, and you have to be subscribed for at least 5 minutes or something like that. And it's a way for them just to get people to subscribe to the channel. I mean, I don't know if I'd do that, but it's an option. And then, yeah, people donate memberships, so non-members can chat. So I'm not sure how exactly that works, because from what I understand from the YouTube membership bootcamp, there is a way for creators to gift memberships, but I think you're limited to 10 a month, and you can't determine who they go to. So I don't know if it's just random or if it's somebody that's commented that day. I'm not sure. So, but then you said that thing about only members can chat on live streams. So yes, so there are members only live streams. And I think there's two different things. There's live streams that only members can get to because that live stream is behind the membership paywall. But then there might also be live streams where only, yeah, actually, in fact, I think I can do it on here, that only people who are members. No, that's a different thing. Yeah, so I will look into that. This is all going to be like very slow going because I've got so many things that I'm dealing with. But these are just future plans that I have made a little bit of progress on this month. Like very slow progress, but I'm either at least looking into something or like the link tree, I've made a little bit of a difference. Oh, and before I forget, we were about to salute you. I do see your comment. I'm going to get back to you, but I'm going to forget this if I don't say it now. This is also in the first half of the live stream, but if I don't remember who it was, but the last live stream or the one before that, somebody asked me to get Twitch. And I basically said, okay, yeah, I might do that at some point in the future. Obviously, I've got way too much going on now. I did get it, and I got it because the way that I take breaks during the day from work, a lot of times is doing something on my phone, and a lot of times that's playing a game. So I was like, you know what, if I'm gonna play it anyway, I might as well just go ahead and sign up, and then people can watch me if they want. So I forgot to add it to my link tree, so it's not gonna be there. But I do now have Twitch, and if you guys want to watch me, I only play PUBG Mobile, so if that's not your thing, you probably won't like it. Um, I've got some past gameplays on there, and then I will continue to live stream the gameplays. Uh, it's usually roughly once or twice a day I do it. Um, it's not at any point during the day, it's just random. So, no way you're going to know when I'm on there, but maybe if you sign up and turn on notifications, um, then basically you can, maybe get a notification when I just randomly go live. I don't know if it works like that over on Twitch. I'm not super familiar with it, and I didn't like even fill out my profile. Like everything's blank. But if you want to find me on Twitch, it's the same name as on all the other social media. It's just the MarkGoudy. So subscribe or whatever it's called on there if you'd like. Um, if you comment, I have not figured out how to respond to comments while playing. So don't be offended if I don't respond. But you can watch some of my old stuff. You can maybe see me play live. Also, it's not going to have sound. There's some kind of issue with my phone where if I have the microphone on my phone while I'm playing something on Twitch, I can barely hear any volume during the game. So I'm like getting shocked because I can't hear people walking closely to me. So I had to turn that off, which means the games, I'm pretty sure, if you watch them back, are muted. But yeah. All right, so I have one other thing about an update about the channel. So let me see what this person's saying, because there's a lot of comments. We Who Are About to Die Salute You says, I totally forgot that today was that Sunday. Nice haircut, by the way. Yeah, I just posted yesterday on the community tab that I did not realize it was the last Sunday. So, and thank you. Yeah, I got it cut a few days ago. The only downside is I'm not going to be able to go back and get my haircut again until late May or early June. So I went 7 months without getting it cut, and it was like ridiculously long. And now I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wait again because it's like, okay, March, April, May, 3 to 4 months this time. It won't be as bad, but it will be too long. But yeah. Oh, We Hear About to Isolate, who says, I was on 2 consecutive live streams in the morning. Well, if you watch this back, and if you watch the part 1 back, YouTube changed something and didn't tell us, and so I went live, and like no one was there, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Apparently, they've now switched the default live stream mode to unlisted, so you just stream to yourself, and they made that change on their own, and they didn't announce it to anyone. So for the first 20 minutes of the stream, when I was supposed to be on at 3, I was just talking to myself. And I finally canceled that stream to check the settings, saw that it was unlisted, and then set this one up. Wait, hold on. We Were About to Die Salute You says, community poll, who wants certain live media? There are some that can embed on into the others. You can get comments from both. Oh, from both YouTube chat and Twitch or Discord. Okay, so I think I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about like OBS? Because we did that one time back in 2020. But the problem is, in order for me to run OBS on this computer, I have to update to a newer version of iOS that this computer can barely run. Like, it's very slow. And then running OBS on top of that, it does work, but it's very slow. But everybody complained about the quality of the video. Like they said that like the video quality was bad, and so I just reverted everything back to the old version. Um, Now, yeah, I mean, I can stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, and you can integrate the chats with those, but what I put on YouTube and what I put on Twitch are totally different things. So I don't want to connect those two. Now, if I can just get comments to show on my phone screen while I'm playing on Twitch, and then be able to actually respond to them, that's really the issue that I'm having right now. Yeah. Okay. So you two were talking about my hair. TMUSA says find a barber around there and show them a screenshot from this live stream so they know what you like. I have actual pictures, not from this time he cut it, but from the time before that, where he took pictures in case I wanted to go somewhere else. He basically said, "This is what I would want to see," um, and then we were about to die. Salute you says, "That is what I would think, because there was something he liked about his current barber to allow her to cut it, unlike Great Clips." Well, yeah, I mean, like, Great Clips is just really bad in general. Like, you're taking such a risk going there, and um, I took my mom there, and they really fucked her up. I mean, I did not. I mean, like, I know Great Clips is kind of like more. No, it's Sport Clips she went to, which is like a dude place. But anyway, that's where she wanted to go. Um, yeah, this was like 10 years ago, but yeah, um, I've had really bad experiences at those places, just over the years. Like, more often than not, bad experiences. I couldn't even say I had like a really good experience. It's either just meh or awful. Um, I started 10 years ago going to a place in Columbus to get my hair cut, and I had a girl, and she was pretty good, but she went on maternity leave, and I had to have somebody cut it when she was gone, and then she came back and she went back to cutting it. But then she went on maternity leave again, and she never came back from maternity leave. So I bounced around several people, and I ended up finding the guy I have now. He's not at that place anymore. He's at his own place. But I can't describe what he does. But all those different people that I had cut my hair before I found him, and in the kind of a long story, but like the few times that he's not been available and I just absolutely needed it cut, especially like during COVID, no one comes close to what he does. Like, he does it so well, and I can't find anybody that does that. But the thing is, I'm still Columbus based. Like, my car's registered there. My That's my legal address. It's where my dentist is. It's where the haircut dude is. It's where my eye doctor is. So, like, both for legal and practical purposes, I am like I'm based out of Columbus, and that even works for like taxation. Like, I am legally, per the IRS definition, I am domiciled in Ohio, regardless of where I actually work. Okay, give me a minute. I gotta blow my nose again. Okay. All right, I'm back, and oh, thank you for the like. Um, how how did you decide on your own unique hairstyle? Did you always have it done that way since birth? Well, I mean, I don't think they have barbers in the hospital. Um, no. I mean, yeah, this is like kind of my signature haircut, but I've only had this for okay. So for the last 10 years, I've had it some variation of this, but this is like the substantially different iteration than it's been previously. I don't remember when I started going to this dude, but I want to say it was around. Pretty sure I was going to him in 2019, 2018 maybe. All right, so you know how my hair looked prior to this, right? Just like kind of grown out. That's how it looked pretty much from when I graduated high school through to around 2007. Then I started going to this one girl in my college town. I went to her for a long time, from like 2007 to 2015 when I moved to Columbus. And it was then that I started going, well, and then, yeah, the place that I started going to in 2015 is where I eventually met the dude who does it now. But I went in with, so my hair from like 2007 to 2015 was kind of spiky. I don't know how to describe it. Okay, when I first started getting it done like that, I also did highlights because in 2007 we still did highlights. So essentially, I had frosted tips in my spikes. So think like Justin Timberlake kind of thing. Um, and essentially, it was just spiky all over, and then in the front, it stayed not kind of off to the side like I do now, but it just kind of went up. Um, and it had been like that, I don't know, for a long time. But I also figured out, I do have good hair. So my hair is unique in that it's, I have a lot of it. It's thick, it's healthy. So this whole like going up in the front thing, whether it's the old haircut I have or this one, like this is one of my unique positive attributes. So I just do it. But yeah, after a couple of years, I stopped doing the highlights in my hair, and it was just spiked all over. That's the way I kept it through college, and then for 3 years after graduating college. Then in 2015, I started having a more professional haircut, which it was parting it on the side like this, and it was kind of pushing it up and back, but it did look different. It wasn't a fade on the sides. It wasn't a hard part. And the way this dude shapes hair is just incredible. So yeah, basically the way that it looks now is the way that it's looked since I think probably around 2018. But it's great. So yeah. Dude is always wanting, like, he also, I don't know if you guys remember, but in 2019 I did No Shave November, and he did my beard styling too, and he's really good at that too. I actually think I might be the only guy who goes to him. He does mostly women's hair. He's kind of like the Zohan. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. Also, it is freezing in here. Let me go put shoes on. Maybe that's gonna help the issue. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna put them on as I'm talking here. I don't want to make you guys wait. It's warmer today outside, but for some reason it just started getting really cold in here. We Were About to Die Salute You says, for me, my dad told me I had a natural right side part, so I've always worn my hair that way. I wish I had hair where I could just run my hand through it and it fell well. Now it is just thinning and falling out. Well, I think that's pretty normal for guys. I don't know that I will have to face that. Like, looking at my dad and looking at my grandpa, my mom's dad, neither of them went bald. I have a lot of hair, as you guys can see, so that's like an all-over thing. So I don't necessarily think that I might lose head hair. I will say, years ago, this has been years ago, this has receded here and here. But I think that was primarily from stress. And my dad had that too. He lost hair there, but nowhere else. So he has a full head of hair. My grandpa, he died 10 years ago, but like he still had a full head of hair. So I think I'd be fine. I think baldness, I believe, comes from your mom's side anyway. So I should be pretty good. My thing is my hair is turning white, which I know you can't tell on camera. But occasionally if the light catches it right, you'll see. I have a few white hairs up here. The main place that you see it is if I grow my beard out, there's like two patches, like here and here, that are both like solid white. I'm just gonna let that happen. I'm not gonna color my hair. I pretty much like myself, and I like how I look naturally. So, I mean, I want to be healthy, but I don't necessarily think that like I need to hide things like that. If you guys know who Max Joseph is, he used to be the co-host on Catfish. He went white at like 25 years old. But if you look at his hair, he still has like a young person's hairstyle, but it's almost completely white. And that's just basically what I'm planning on doing. My dad went salt and pepper. My mom, her hair went completely white. Now she colored it, but like, yeah, like almost completely white. So I think that, I mean, I know I look good now, but I think when I get older, I might have some pretty striking features as far as having like really distinguished silver hair, which I think is going to look really cool. Sorry if you guys can hear that music. They're playing it in the front room. Or actually, no, they're in the shower. The guys like to listen to music when they're in the shower. They had a huge event last night, so I was up really late. But yeah, so there was one other thing, wasn't there? I told you guys about Twitch. I told you about Stream Elements. I told you about Linktree and the YouTube membership bootcamp. I think I mentioned it, but I'm trying to make one video a month plus the live stream to get on a schedule of at least making, somewhat consistent actual content. What else? Oh, as far as goals, I'm just not going to set one. This will be the first month since June, but I'm just not going to set one for this month because I've got so many things going on. Um, and like taxes are coming up. So I've got that thing I've got to do to follow up from the lawsuit, and then taxes are due. Like, I'm pretty much going to have to do them in March to get them in on time. That'll take a good chunk of time. Um, and I do have a big life event coming up, but I won't be able to tell you guys that until next month. Um, that'll be. Oh, yeah, I know what it was. Okay. So, I am getting a new device for work. So, originally, I was supposed to get a cell phone. So, I have my phone, obviously, I'm recording on it right now. But I was supposed to get a cell phone for work. Well, they never gave me the cell phone. And I've been using my own. So, just this past week, they gave me an iPad, which it's in the other room, but they gave me an iPad, and I asked about the phone, and they're like, well, we're giving you the iPad instead, just use your own phone, but we're going to start giving you a $50 a month stipend instead of the phone. So, because my thought was, when they told me about the phone, I was like, oh, that's cool, because I can also live stream from the phone. I can have two cameras, right? Because you guys remember, YouTube's still promoting that vertical video for live streams. So what I'm gonna try to do, just as an experiment, maybe next month, maybe the month after, depending on how long it takes me to get this set up, I am gonna try to do a dual stream, meaning that I'm gonna film my regular stream on my regular camera, but then like off to the side, and I have like a tiny miniature tripod I can put it on. I'm going to film from a different angle the same live stream, but make it a separate stream. There's some kinks to work out in this, but basically there will be this stream that is this format that you guys like. And I'll also do the separate vertical stream. Now, if you remember when we did that, we got a lot of trolls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it so that essentially on the vertical stream, I'm either going to turn comments off or I'm going to turn them to like where you have to subscribe to comment. And I'm not going to respond to those comments. I'll probably mention that throughout the video, but I will say like, I'll only respond to the comments that are on the horizontal stream, like I normally do, and then this is just going to be off running by itself on the side. So it'll get me in the live feed stream, because only the vertical lives go through that. Last time we did that, I got like 45 subscribers just during the stream, which was an incredible number. And as many trolls as we had in the comments, you would think that that would bring in people that caused problems later on and like left mean comments on the rest of the remaining videos, but it didn't. The subscriber numbers stayed higher, and I didn't have any negative stuff that stuck around. So I'll just try it for a month and see how it goes. But essentially, instead of the phone, they gave me the iPad, but I can do the same thing with the iPad. I can put the YouTube app on there, and I can live stream simultaneously from both my phone and from the iPad. Yeah, plus they'll give me $50 a month, which will pay more than half of my cell phone bill. So hopefully it'll be a bonus. I mean, hopefully it'll be something positive for the channel. All right. So, as I told you guys, I think I've forgotten half the stuff I said in the beginning of that live stream, the first one. I know I had some updates on things, and I've said some of them here, but I don't remember if that's all of them. that's the end of that. Did I ask in this stream about short form content? See, I bought this originally because I saw it as a brand new flavor. And I thought, I always have a drink of the day in my videos. Maybe because I found a new one, I should do a review on a short. Because I do long form video. I don't do shorts. Mostly just because I don't really have ideas for shorts. But I thought, I could try this. Have a 2-minute video or less reviewing it. So is that something that you guys would want to see? I mean, it might be a drink, it might be some random thing. It's not going to be like a huge part of the channel, but I just thought every once in a while, if I found something new, I could try it out. Put it up as short form. So just let me know if that's something that you think would work on the channel. I'm not really sure. Also, oh, Greg's here. Greg said, yes, great to see something like that. Okay, well, cool. I'm not going to do it with this one. Obviously, I've already drank this one. I originally got it the first time I saw it, and back then there weren't any reviews on YouTube. At this point, it'd just be weird to do it because there's so many. But yeah, if I see something that's like brand new, I'll just go ahead and do it. And then if nobody watches it, I guess I just won't do it again. But I will try that. You don't get paid hardly anything for shorts, so really it's just doing it for fun. TM USA says, during a live, you should react to another finance video. Okay, I can't do Dave Ramsey because I literally cannot watch him. It's like I can't. I can't put myself through that. I would have to figure out some technology type things in order to do that. So you said during a live, you should react to another finance video. If I found the right video, sure, I could do that. What I would have to do is figure out a way to do like a picture-in-picture of either myself or of that video during the live stream. Because I know how to make that type of video on its own and then edit it in iMovie and then upload it, but I don't know how to do that live. As far as I know, there are no native features on the YouTube app that allow you to, so I'd have to figure out what I'd have to integrate it with to do it. Now, I will say, along the pipeline of all the stuff that is coming, I do have a reaction video. I literally tried to make this video back in 2022. It's to something on Netflix that I have expertise in. But it was, well, you know, everything happened with my life that year, and I'm not back to normal yet. So it probably would have been better to make the video at the time that the thing was popular on Netflix, but I still feel like I have enough to say about it that I'm still going to make it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's another year down the road before that gets made, but I will eventually do that. And that's going to be, I don't really want to be a reaction channel, but if there's something that does come along that I have something to say about, like, I will do that. And so I do have to figure that out a little bit as far as editing, because I have to show little snippets of the Netflix video and then have myself on the screen or switch back and forth. And I have to figure out some copyright stuff with that too. So it is definitely more complicated than what I normally do. As far as what you're saying to react to another finance video, it would it would have to be one that I have a lot to say about, but that it's not overly negative, because I don't want to just take other people's videos and just trash them. I mean, even if that's how I feel about it, I just don't want to bring that negativity. And one thing that is a lot different with me and my channel versus really every other personal finance channel I've seen is that they're always telling you what to do with your money, and they're telling you what's wrong with you and what you're doing wrong. I don't do that. I show you guys what I do, but I don't tell you what you should do. And so there is like that limitation to it as well. So I do watch a few personal finance YouTubers, but I can't think of anyone right now that I would want to like critique. Yeah. I'm actually trying to set up a collab. I don't think she's here today, but the Well-Behaved Wallet and I said that we're going to do a collab probably over the summer. So she's a personal finance channel, and I know there's a couple channels we both watch. So it'd be the two of us, maybe another channel or two. Try to get them involved. And we've done some successful ones in the past, and I think I have a topic idea. So if she's cool with it, then, you know, I'll be a little bit more involved with getting some content made. So as far as like YouTube and stuff goes, I'm just trying to get things back on track, and I would like to be able to have somewhat of an income from it. I think adding channel memberships, especially with the very cheap option of $1 per month, I think that's part of it. Because I do have almost 3,000 subscribers. Now, there's no way in hell that 100% of people are going to do $1 per month, but you know, ideally, if $1 a month, each person did that, that'd be $3,000 a month, and then I could do full-time YouTube. I think it's more likely it'll be like 1 or 2% of that. So like 1% of 3,000 is what, 30? I hope that's right. Wait, is that right? Because 1% of 1,000 is 10. Oh, well, yeah, so 30. All right, so yeah, so let's say 30 people do the $1 option rather than the higher option. Well, that's $30 per month. And we know the YouTube threshold is 30, or I mean, it's 100. So I'd have AdSense plus the 30 a month. So if nothing else, I would hit the threshold more often to get paid out. And Greg, yeah, just move the decimal point 2 places to the left. I'm thinking about Greg, are you American? Because I'm thinking of this from that standpoint rather than a metric standpoint. I mean, yeah, I know it's probably simpler to, oh, you are, okay. Yeah, I just feel like that's more metric math than American math. I was like over here trying to do freedom calculations. Oh, Greg says you teach math. So yeah, the way that I do math, I have certain ways that I know that it's easier for me to understand, and that's why I broke it down like that. Instead I was like, okay, not 3,000, what is just 1,000? And then like did it from there. I know my mom always, oh my gosh, she would always make me feel so weird about the way that I did math. Because, Greg, okay, let me ask you this, because I've never asked a teacher this. let's talk about simple addition. I know you're probably teaching something a little more complicated than that, but let's say simple addition. Do you know about the dots? Because in my first grade classroom, they had this chart up across the main, like the top of the main blackboard, and it were, yes, it was numbers from like I think 1 to 9 or something like that, and there was a dot on each one. So 1 had 1 dot, 2 had 2 dots, 3 had 3 dots, 4 had 4 dots, and like on like that. And that is the way, still to this day, even though it was never told to us, it was just there above the chalkboard. But still to this day, some numbers, that's how I add. So if you would give me something like 2 plus 2, obviously I know that's 4. I don't have to think about it. But if you, let's say 7 plus 6, okay? I know it's 13. But you know what I just did in my head to get to 13? I just did 2 times 7 minus 1, because I know that 6 is 1 less than 7. That's one way I do it. I always just, a lot of times with math, it's like the way it's presented, I don't know the answer that way, but I know a different way to shift the numbers where I can figure out in my head. So for that example again, like if we were to use the dots, it's 7 plus 6. But what would happen is I'd say, okay, 7. And then I would look at the dots, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Like I would literally count the dots on the second number that I'm adding in order to add them together. And I still do that in my head. Okay, Greg says, yes, I've seen the dots. Best way to add is to use the compatible numbers strategy. So a problem like 39 plus 57 is close to 40 plus 60. Do the simpler problem and then compensate to get the right answer. Okay, well that's basically what I said with the 7 plus 6 in the first example, is that like 2 times 7 is 14, and then I know 6 is 1 less, so you take that off of there. So I guess that's kind of like that. But the thing is, I went to school in West Virginia, and I don't think I even need to make the conclusion to that. We all know about that. So our teachers were essentially worthless and didn't teach anything. So I learned more from the sign that was above the chalkboard than I did from the teacher. And I think a lot of the ways that I do things are different, like internally, just the way my brain is wired, because I taught myself. Like I taught myself how to read before I even started kindergarten. Maybe before I started preschool, I can't remember. But I taught myself to read based on whole words, seeing whole words on signs as we're traveling across town, and then comparing, knowing what that place is and knowing what that sign is. Like, we used to have a Hardee's near my house. We would pass it almost every day. It burnt down 20, 30 years ago, but I knew that that place was Hardee's, and I knew that that sign would say Hardee's because that's what that place was. So I ended up sort of doing this chunking thing where, and I didn't like sound letters out like other kids did or something like that. I knew that that chunk of letters together in that order and that formation was Hardee's, because of the association between verbally saying it and knowing that that place was Hardee's. It's almost like a Helen Keller thing, like when they did water while like making her feel water on her hands. I mean, we've talked about it before on the channel, but I definitely came from a very neglectful situation, and I did a lot of self-education. So I think the way that I think about things is unique because the way that I learned was to teach myself, and so I learned things very differently than other people. I don't have like, well, I mean, I guess I did later. I went to college and graduated, but um, at first, for a long time, I didn't have like formal education. Um, but yeah, Greg. So just so you know, too, I consider myself to be very good at math for like regular everyday stuff, like addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, all that stuff. Very good at that stuff that you use every day in life. Um, I actually did use algebra just the other day to figure something out, but it was like pre-algebra. But um, I- I'm very good at that stuff. Um, I never had the opportunity to have higher level math classes. Um, they taught us essentially the same math from, so first grade, I think we did addition. Third, yeah, second grade we did subtraction. Third grade we did multiplication tables. I suppose that means we did division in fourth grade, but I don't remember that specifically. Fifth and sixth grade, we just did math. So when I was in fifth grade, we just had math. And in sixth grade, we had two math classes a day. Um, we used the same book we did in fifth grade, and then we had a second book that we used for sixth grade. Um, and so, yeah, so we had two math periods a day, basically. Then I went to school in Ohio after that, and I was ridiculously behind, not in just math, but in every subject. Um, and I started out in algebra in seventh grade, and they switched me back to like the general math class because I wasn't doing very but good in it. Um, and then I ended up taking algebra my freshman year of high school, and I've taken it since in college. I took geometry in high school, and that was a college prep class, but I did not learn I did not learn a single thing about geometry the entire year. The guy who taught that class, he's in a pop punk band, like still to this day. He's about to retire from being a teacher. We're friends on Facebook, but like he at the time his band was kind of taking off. They were like going to LA on the weekends to play and do show like he was at some like movie premiere. He was dating um Topanga from Boy Meets World. They were dating at this time. This is back in 2000. Um, and because he had gotten his song into a movie that her brother was in or something, and that's how he met her. Well, anyway, I'm saying all this because basically I didn't learn anything in that class. All he did was talk about his band. Um, but those were the highest math classes I had. My high school only required one math credit to graduate. So whether you took the integrated math or whether you took algebra your freshman year, um, that was all you needed. So at my high school, the only thing that you had to have 4 years of was English. And everybody else, I mean, yeah, I mean, there were some kids that did take more years of things, but it wasn't very common. And they didn't even offer most of the higher level classes. Um, like I said, freshman year, you either took general math or you took um, or you took algebra, which was like the higher class. English was the only thing you needed 4 credits of, and history. Like I love history. I would have taken it if it was available. They didn't even teach history at my high school. My freshman year, they did the first 6 months was civics, I think, and then economics, or maybe that was switched. So it was half a year and half a year. I think you had to take that. I'm not sure. And then you could take American National Government. They did not have American history. You could take American National Government, and I did, but it was considered an advanced class. They did not offer world history at all. And to this day, that's like a huge gap of my knowledge. And it's the only high school, even in Ohio at that time, that I heard of that didn't have the class. Like, not just not require it, but like literally did not even offer it. And I just look back at my high school and I'm just like, what the hell? I mean, you also have to understand that this high school was a public high school, but like, we didn't even have clubs. Like, we had club periods, but it was either you go to church during club or you go to detention. Those are the only options. So you were literally punished if you didn't go to church. Anyway. All right, I'm getting behind on comments. That's my rant about how terrible my education was. All right. So, yeah, Greg, just don't teach in West Virginia. It has the lowest pay in the country for teachers anyway, so I don't think you would. But yeah, our teacher salaries start out at about $22,000 a year. So, you can understand why they don't have any teachers. Okay, but Greg, your thing about the dots, that's the first time anybody has ever acknowledged that. Pretty much any time I've brought that up, people act like I'm crazy or they just literally have no idea what I'm talking about. So that was 1990 or 1991. And you're the first person since then to know what that is. We Who Are About to Die Salute You says, is that orange cream Coca-Cola? Yeah. This is the zero version. They had both. They had the regular too. Yeah, it's not bad. It's just kind of not a normal flavor. So like, as far as things to drink, I would still go for like, I don't know, like a regular Coke rather than that. Greg says, I needed 3 credits in math to graduate high school. I did algebra 2 as a freshman, then geometry, then pre-calc, then calculus as a senior. So I'm trying to remember how it was. I know that, like I said, freshman year you either took algebra, which you had the option of taking the same class in either 7th or 8th grade for high school credit. But you either took algebra as the advanced class or you took general math. I believe there was a general math 10, meaning like 10th grade. But it was completely optional. You also could take CP geometry when you were a sophomore. But like I said, that class was a complete joke and I didn't learn anything there. I am almost certain we did not offer calculus, because I think on the smart kid track, whatever they called that, it was algebra, CP geometry, and then junior year it would be algebra 2, and then I'm pretty sure pre-calc, and almost no one took pre-calc. I mean, I know that was Mr. Howell that had that class, and I think he may have had maybe a maximum of 5 students in that class. And that was a high school of 900 and some kids. I mean, you had to be like a genius, like on track to go to like an Ivy League school to take that class. We Who Are About to Die Salute You says they still do not sell the Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream at any locations near me. They have it in 12-pack cans. I haven't heard of that. I do like Pepsi Wild Cherry. Um, wouldn't be like my standard thing to go to, but I if I go to the store and I'm trying to get Diet Pepsi and they're out of it, sometimes I'll get the Wild Cherry Zero instead. I just don't go to it like it's my standard thing because the cherry flavor is pretty intense on it. But I haven't heard of the one with cream. I didn't know that was a thing. And then We Were About to Die Salute You says the Southern Snack does food reviews. He is from Virginia/North Carolina. Do not sell the wild cherry. Oh, they don't sell it in 20-ounce bottles. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of that channel, the Southern Snack. I might do that in a short if I find something weird, especially on the road. I've had it here on the channel. There's a couple places here in town, surprisingly, I can find ski. Kroger has it in the 12 packs. It's really hard to find anywhere in the US. But there's like that pocket of southern Ohio, close to where I'm from, that you can find it sometimes. Here, Kroger has it in 12 packs, and there's a pizza restaurant in the mall that has it in the dispenser. It's the first time I've ever seen that anywhere. Of course, it's almost kind of a waste because they don't have diet. And I won't do more than 1 cup of regular pop because it's just too much sugar and calories. So yeah, I mean, I have no idea like in the future what kind of thing like that might pop up, but if I find something interesting, I will try it. It's just, oh, there's that. Well, I think it might be gone already. I never got to try it. It was like blackberry Dr. Pepper. They didn't have a 0-calorie version though, so I didn't get it. Okay. I'm gonna blow my nose again. I'll be right back. We are back. I'm gonna get a drink. Okay, back. It's just Diet Pepsi. I just need the caffeine. That is what's keeping me going right now. We Who Are About to Die Salute You. Are you the one that I was talking to in the comments the last couple days about your comments not appearing on the channel? I was also supposed to have an interview like an hour before this stream started. I had to reschedule it because I don't know. They wanted to do it on Sunday, which is weird, and that was before I knew I was going to have to do the stream, and I just couldn't do both. I'm not going to take the job anyway. I was just going to do it for practice. So, okay. So I'm trying to check something here on my end. Computer is not cooperating. So just give me a minute if you guys comment anything, because I might not see it. Oh, why did you do that? I'm gonna grab something real quick. Okay. All right, maybe that'll be better. It's just so cold in here. I don't know what is going on. I might have to grab something heavier here in a bit. Okay. I was trying to see if I had an update on that interview, but looks like I don't. So that's fine. You know, if they end up not interviewing me, that's fine, because like I said, I wasn't going to take that anyway. All right, so basically, that is what's going on. I mean, if you guys have more questions, feel free to answer them, but I have just so many things up in the air right now, and I'm trying to get more active on the channel again while simultaneously trying to fix every other aspect of my life. And I'm not really successfully juggling everything. It's kind of more like I fall behind on some things while I'm working on other things, and then I have to shift gears so that no one thing falls too far behind. It's basically where things are at. But yeah, I don't know how many of you guys are over on Twitch. I'm probably going to stream later tonight. I'm actually going to have to get food after this, because I think probably by the time I get off here, food service for dinner will probably be over. So I'll probably have to go eat out somewhere, which, I mean, it's fine with me, but... Question for you guys. Have you guys had the new Wendy's Frosty? Sorry. Yeah, have you guys had that? It's Thin Mint, like Girl Scout cookie. You can get it in either the chocolate or the vanilla Frosty. I did the little one that's like that big, because I mean, like, you know, I don't really need ice cream. Oh yeah, Greg, that was kind of gross. Greg said he tried the salted caramel Frosty. That was the last one that they had. Because they had like the mixed berry over the summer, and then they had salted caramel, and then just recently they got Thin Mint. And oh, and there was another one. There was the SpongeBob one. I can't remember if that came before or after salted caramel. I didn't try that one because that just looked gross. Because they had some kind of meal where you got a Krabby Patty and a SpongeBob pineapple Frosty. If it was like Dole Whip, that would be good. I don't even like pineapple, but I like pineapple Dole Whip. But I think what the SpongeBob one was just a vanilla Frosty with like yellow sauce. Yeah, honestly, I mean, salted caramel was not awful. I mean, it's ice cream, so it's not gonna be bad, but it wasn't good either. Um, the the Thin Mint one is not all that great either, but it is definitely better than the salted caramel. Um, I just thought it was kind of a weird texture. Because you'd think there might be like chunks of the Thin Mints or something in there, but there's not. It's like they've ground them like coffee grounds. That's what it seems like. Like they've ground them down to that consistency and then just mixed that into the Frosty. So there's like kind of the flavor of it, but it's not really recognizable as like actual Thin Mints or as actual cookies. I mean, contrary to popular belief, my diet is not that unhealthy, so I generally just try these things once when they come out, and that's pretty much the end of it. How am I might have missed some comments, guys, because somehow I'm like 5 minutes behind on my own live stream, like watching it on my computer, and I don't know how that happened. So I might be behind on comments too. So, well, anyway, I guess slowly I'm making some progress on the channel, and even more slowly making some progress on my life. Okay. There's just constantly something going on in this house. Well, anyway, let me know if you guys have anything else you want to talk about. I feel like I forgot half the stuff from the first stream. Probably did. But I think everything that I can remember, I've told you guys. There's no goal for next month. It's just me not getting further behind and actually hopefully getting some stuff done. Maybe even getting my taxes started, because I've got everything together. It's all ready to put into the system. I just haven't started putting anything in there yet. But I want to make sure I get those done on time. That was one of the financial goals for this year. And hopefully the weather gets a little bit better, a little less depressing. And like I said, I'm going to try to like get out of the house and do some stuff this week. So that'll be good for me, because I've pretty much been a shut-in for, well, really ever since November. But that's all I can think of, guys. So I'll continue answering comments if you have any. Fresh Lights, not sure if you already talked about it. Missed initial part, but did you get update on house lease renewal? So yes, I did, but it's still not, it's not what I want to know. Okay, so what Fresh Lights is referring to is that my job here is it's contingent upon several different things. In March, and now they've pushed it to April, we're supposed to have talks about my contract renewal for my job, like if I'm going to be here next year. But there's all kinds of things that could also factor in. I mean, the guys might decide they hate me and then they vote me out. The chapter could shut down by decision of nationals, by decision of the university, any of those options, and then there wouldn't be a place for me. The there's some issues with the landlord. There's like a lot of different ways in which I would not have a place to live and a job for next school year. We've also have the fire marshal threatening us to shut us down. That's over some issues that I've had trouble getting fixed because our general contractor just doesn't want to fix things for some reason. So there's like a lot of different things going on here. And the biggest issue of all of them, though, is just simply we're on our last year of our lease here at the house. And the question is, okay, well, is the landlord going to renew the lease for next year? And that should be like a really simple question to answer. But we can't get an answer out of anybody. Not only does the landlord not give us a straight answer, but like my bosses, the chapter advisor, even to some extent the guys here, give me like vague and conflicting answers about that. And it's like a really big important thing because I need to know, I mean, before we even get to the point of whether they want to renew my contract for next year, is the position even going to be available? And it's not going to be available if the landlord doesn't renew our lease. So the last I heard was a few months ago where they said that he was not going to renew the lease, but instead he would grant us a 1-year extension. And that's good, but it means I'm going to be in the same place next year. But it hasn't happened is the biggest problem. Normally these things are done at least a year ahead of time. And I've been asking since August to get a straight answer out of anybody about what's going on. So I don't know. I asked again 2 weeks ago. I asked my boss's boss's boss, the executive director, and he was like, oh yeah, no, I want to assure you, like, we absolutely will be there next year. But then he went on to say, well, but nothing's in writing yet. And I'm like, then man, you don't know. And this has been the whole issue, is that I get all these assurances. I see a lot of stuff to the contrary from the landlord. But then I got all these assurances that, oh no, like everything's good. And I'm like, but why is nothing in writing if it's good? Why do we not have a lease renewal? And we're a short distance out from when we need that. And so it's definitely something that as time has progressed forward, I've worried more and more about. So I still don't know the answer to that. So the answer to your question, Fresh Lights, is I have gotten an update within the last 2 weeks where I was assured that absolutely we're going to have the house for next year. But at the same time, I was told again, none of that is in writing. And at the same time, I found out from the guys, I don't know why the landlord told them, but apparently the landlord told the guys that another potential hurdle has come up. Because, see, we had that big flood in November. And, well, for one thing, he's trying to get out of paying for that. But for another thing, we were told after that because of that flood, the insurance company he had canceled his policy. So we're currently living in a house that's not insured, and he's told us that even if he wanted to, he can't extend our lease if he can't find an insurance company to cover the house. And of course, we're not really getting any updates about if that's been done. So I'm not sure. But as time passes, I'm getting more and more worried, I guess, just because it's not a comfortable position to be in, but I also feel like no one's being transparent with me. I want to say almost to the point that I feel like some people involved are being delusional about what's going on, and I just want them to be realistic because, my financial position and my housing is all tied into that. And then the other thing to worry about is that, remember, I don't get paid for the months of June and July. So even if my contract is renewed for a second school year, I still have to have I don't know. I have to figure out. So, like, if it's renewed for next year, I'll be allowed to stay here and live here rent free over the summer. But I need to know if, like, what am I going to do for money during those 2 months? And we also don't have food service during the summer. So, I also have to pay for food, which I normally don't have to pay much for because I get the meal plan for free. TM USA says, do you have rental insurance? I personally do not. Two reasons, really. One, when I moved here, it was just not an option because I was in such a bad financial position. Even if it was $5 a month, I couldn't afford it. So it was just not possible. Second reason, though, I'm not entirely sure that I can get renter's insurance. Because this is kind of a unique situation where I'm not a tenant. I'm in some like weird class where I'm outside of the rules of like fair housing and any other renter protections. I have to sign that away in my contract. But at the same time, I have my own apartment. I have my own sectioned off apartment with its own bathroom and stuff that just happens to be in a house. And it gets weird because, see, some of the guys have renter's insurance for their individual rooms because the renter's insurance companies, they see those as dorm rooms, essentially, and they're able to get insurance on them. My room in particular is weird because it's basically like having an apartment inside of an apartment complex where there'd be other apartments, but there are no other apartments. It's just mine. They see it as there being a separate apartment inside of a house, and that has been an issue somewhat for getting coverage. I didn't look into it much here because, like I said, when I got here, I didn't have the money to do it. But when I moved to WVU back in late 2021 into early 2025, oh my God, 2022, I had renter's insurance on the apartment that I had at the time, and I tried to transfer it, and it was an issue with transferring it because they couldn't comprehend that I had an apartment that was inside a house. And there were some like legality issues about whether they could insure it or not. And I know those are going to be the same issues that I have here. It's not like basically all the agents that I talk to, anytime that I try to describe my scenario, it's like, okay, well, we'll have to check and see if that's something that we can insure. And then I just never really get an answer about that. And I know I could go ahead and they'd probably sign a policy with me anyway. But the problem that I'm running into, I can't get a straight answer out of anybody about whether it would actually be legitimate. Because if they have me sign this policy and have me covered and have me paying all this money, even if it is a small amount, but still, it builds up over time. If I'm paying like $5 a month or whatever, then if I actually need to use it, if it's not something that can legitimately be covered, they're going to use that as a reason not to cover whatever damages it is. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to what would be the best there. I'm not required to have it for my job. Um, we don't require the guys to have it. They can have it if they want to. Um, I mean, I know it would be better to have it, but that's pretty low on the list of things that of all the things that I have to get figured out. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's like an eventual thing. Um, yeah. So I don't even know. I had lemonade before. Lemonade was like $5 a month. I think another time I had it, I think it was linked to my car insurance. I think. I don't know. All right. Well, yeah. So I don't really know what to do about the renter's insurance thing, but that also probably is somewhat contingent at this point on what the landlord does. So anyway, it's 20. We've been on for over 2 hours on this stream, plus a half hour on the other stream. So I guess actually it's been over 3 hours at this point. So I think, unless any other comments pop up, I think I'm going to end this soon. And I'm going to go grab some food. But basically, whatever is going on right now and for the next month, it's just me making some changes. Like I said, I've got something I got to talk to you guys about next month, and I'll just make a standalone video for it. But I am still trying to make progress on my end, and there will be some to talk about next month. It hasn't gone into practice yet, but you'll see it. That'll be my main video for next month before we do the live stream. And I'm hoping that for next month I'll have everything set up so I can do the dual live streams. Just have you guys on the horizontal one, and then I'll do a comments limited vertical one at the same time, just as an experiment, see how that goes. But anyway, and We Who Are About to Die salute you. If that was you that was talking about the comments being hidden, I'm still planning on getting back to you. Although it's weird that I can see them on the live stream and not on the regular videos. So, I don't know. We'll figure that out. But, TMUSA says, leaving us in suspense sounds good. See y'all next month. Yeah, just know it's good. And I will try to have that video up mid-March, but definitely before the live stream. And actually, I'm going to film it in 2 parts. There's going to be a main part announcement kind of video where I break everything down, and then there will be one that goes into more depth, some things that might be a little more critical, that I'm going to go ahead and put in the members only area, even though I don't have memberships turned on yet. But that'll be one of the things that you can get access to when you do the channel memberships whenever that gets started. So, and in the meantime, I've got 2 meetings next week with YouTube directly to try to figure that out and get those at least set on the back end so that I can launch those sometime this year. So anyway, I guess I will head out, guys. I'm gonna go grab some food, and just leave me comments if you're watching this later, either this one or the other live stream. I'll get it sorted out so it makes sense in the subscription feed, as far as titles and stuff like that. But I leave all the I read all the comments you guys leave. So if you're watching the re-upload, go ahead and comment if you have something to say, and then I would say by like 2 to 3 weeks from now, there should be a big announcement about some positive changes, life and finance wise, that I will break everything down and discuss. So, looks like the end of the comments. So I will leave. I will get that video up for you guys. Just wait on that, and then we'll do another live stream next month.